Okay, welcome everybody. It's not that easy to go just after Joshua, but it's a pleasure to talk to you today about a subject which is really important in machine learning. So now that we embed more and more our learning algorithms in decision systems in a critical situation, we need to be aware that at some point we have to be able to give the end to the user if the user is better than the machine, and we have to say when our algorithm doesn't work. Okay, so this work is a joint work with Alexandre Garcia, in fact the PhD student who did almost all the work, and my colleagues at Telecom Paris-Tech, Chloé Clavel, Slim Essid, and myself. Okay, so in our application, we like that our algorithm should say, instead of giving a false prediction, say when it has to be replaced, in fact, by a user, so when to give the end. So, of course, in health problems, for instance, autonomous vehicle, this is the case. In fact, any diagnosis problem, usually, you want to be sure locally of your decision. So, the idea is that in many cases, I mean, if you look at the literature, the work have been addressed by decision theory with reject option or by Bayesian approaches, and then you will listen to Eric Moulin, we will talk about that. And very recently, there is also works about SVM with abstention, boosting with abstention, and it's a statistical learning theory framework where instead of learning just one function to predict, to give some prediction, you are going to learn as well a function that tells you when you have to abstain. Okay? Of course, a lot have been done in binary classification, so we are going to look at a problem a bit more complex. So this is a case of structured output learning. So I'm just going to give you an example. So for instance, imagine that you have some review, okay, on some hotel, okay, and you have some text in natural language, and you want to extract from this text the real opinion of the user, of the customer, and basically what you want to do from this kind of sentence, the room was okay, nothing special, still a perfect choice to quickly join the main places. You want to fill the nodes of a tree, here of a given size, okay, so here the goal is not to predict a structure of arbitrary size, okay, the problem is relatively easy in the sense that the size is fixed, okay, and you want to predict if the sentence is about the location, the food, the rooms, and of course also the polarity of opinion emitted regarding this aspect. Of course, it is the case that in a sentence you are not talking about every aspect, okay? And sometimes also it's not really clear if you are able to predict one node before another one. For instance, it's not really clear in this sentence if when we are talking about quickly, which is usually associated with a service, a checking, things like that, or we are talking about location of the hotel. So another motivation for abstention in this specific structured output learning problem is also to be, let's say, robust during the learning to the fact that maybe at some node on the structure, you don't know how to really predict, but you still want to going on. So for instance, if you look at this sentence globally, it is quite positive, okay, and it gives you positive information about this hotel, okay? So in fact, we are going to build a mechanisms for abstention, which is very, very general, which in fact encompasses both frequentist and Bayesian approaches. And we are going just to say that from now, we are going to learn two functions, one function that predicts labels of this tree, and one function that predicts when we have to abstain in some node. Okay? So basically, quickly, I will give you a short review of the mathematics behind that. Okay? So we have X, the space of text, okay? And we have Y, let's say, the space of the binary vectors that represent all the possible labeling of your tree, okay? And what you want to learn is these two functions, H, the predictor, and R, the function that will able to give you the abstention information. So in machine learning, usually what we do, we have some target, okay? We want to learn function that generalize well. So we define the way, the risk of some classifier or some predictor by an expectation over the distribution of the joint variable x and y, x input, y the output. And what we want to minimize, it is the expectation of some loss function, okay? So of course now, what we have to take care is the two functions that we targeted, H and X, okay? Basically, I mean, the method I'm going to present you is very simple, but there is some 1 minute of attention I require from yourself. The idea is the following. I'm going to consider loss function such that you are going to do the following things. To be able to predict a structured output, well, you know, it's a complex problem. So usually, when you have to solve a complex problem, what you do is to try to solve a simpler problem. And a simpler problem that we all know how to solve is solving a regression problem, okay? So what I'm going to do, instead of trying to predict these two trees, one tree for predicting the labels of the tree and one tree for the abstention, I'm going to take my output data, my output training data, I'm going to project them into some space, and I'm going to compare that with some another projection of the two outputs of my prediction function and my abstention function. Okay, this is the idea. So in fact, it looks a bit weird, so maybe you say that, oh, but what I know is not entering into this framework. Well, no. In fact, you can take any problem of binary classification, hierarchical structured output prediction. You will fit into that. But what we are going to take care, of course, is that we are going to add the idea that you can predict 0-1, or you can also abstain. Okay. But of course, for abstention, we'll have some cost. Okay. Because at some point you don't want to abstain all the time, otherwise it's not really interesting, okay? So just what you have to know is that, well, this kind of family of losses is very important, it's very large, you can do many things with it, and especially simple cases, okay? Now we're going to describe how to learn such approaches, okay? And what we are going to do is going to split the problem into two parts, okay? So first, we are going to solve this problem of regression I've talked about, and then we are going to come back into the original space in order to predict, well, the answer you want to give, but together with some information about the abstention, okay? Let's look at a small picture, okay? Imagine that your input sample is represented here. This is your input sample. Each star is a text, okay? Let's have a bit of imagination, okay? And now imagine that on the other side, you have your outputs. And outputs, each output is a tree, okay? It's an opinion. So is the location is good, is the room is large, is the service is nice, and so on, okay? And what you want to do, you want to solve a problem which is easy, because it's always complex to do that. So what you are going to do, you are going to transform these outputs, which are structured, into a space where you have a vector space, and it will be easier to make this prediction. Okay, so let's do it. Let's predict. Let's learn a function that does this prediction. Okay. And once we have done that, we are happy because it was not a difficult problem. So you can use your preferred tool, deep learning, SVR, kernel-rich regression, anything you want, okay, to do that. But then you have to solve a problem which is common to deep learning and the other approaches. At some point, you have to take care to come back to your original space. Okay, so it's easy to solve this problem in a vector space. Now you have to come back to your trees. Okay, And additionally, here, you have another difficulty. You have also to give some information about where you want to abstain, okay? So the second problem is called the pre-image problem, and it's a bit more difficult when you also want to predict this abstention. So this is the structure of the work. You solve a regression problem, you solve your pre-image problem, and as maybe you imagine, in fact, it is the second problem which is the most difficult. We have some learning guarantee, okay? You can say something about the minimum of your problem, the real minimum, and the solution you get, okay? You can bound this excess risk, okay? I'm not going to be long on that. And the second thing we have to understand is that how is it difficult to solve the pre-image problem. So, in fact, the pre-image problem is hard, NP hard in general, okay? But what you can do in a world which is finite and with structure which are not so complex, you can solve this problem with some integral linear programming, and it's not that complex, except that when you are going to choose C, the matrix which is here, okay, you are going to encode what you want for your abstention, okay? What you want for your abstention compared to your structure, okay? If now I want to do automatic captioning and predict a sequence, a sentence, okay, and I want to be able to abstain maybe on some word of the sentence, I can also do it, and all the knowledge will be in this matrix C. Okay, I'm just going to show briefly some experimental results, okay? Before that, I just want to tell you that this kind of approach also apply on medical images, for instance, to label medical object, well, organs, for instance, in images, okay? But I'm going to stick to this example of language natural reviews. Okay, so imagine you have your reviews, okay? And for that, we use a data set that is common in the literature, okay? And you want to solve your problem with abstention. So the first thing we have to say here is how we calibrate, this loss function, and how we say what is the cost to pay to predict or to abstain for each of my nodes, knowing that in each application, the role of the node is not the same, okay? So we can do that, and I will go quickly on that details, but of course, here is the knowledge of your application. And what we can do after that, we can just check something that is very well known in the binary classification case, is that, well, depending the hyperparameter you put in your matrix C and in the parameter of your hierarchical loss with abstention, well, what you are going to have, of course, if you look at your performance in a test set, is that, well, according to the number of abstention you allow for your problem, well, you will be able at some point to reduce your loss, okay? So you will predict better because you avoid the example which are too difficult. So at that point, you give the end to someone, the user, the expert, okay? But of course, you cannot abstain every time, okay? Because if you abstain too much, okay, it's not interesting, okay? So this is a classical trade-off that we will see in any method, Bayesian and frequency. At some point, we have to extract a trade-off between let's say, the number of abstention and the number of real prediction. Okay, so just now some results about this idea of predicting how much now a review is positive when I admit that my predictor can abstain, okay? And what we see here, so if we just take sentences, so the data set I'm talking about is about less than 5,000 of sentences, okay, in terms of data sets. It's not so big, but it is already something, okay? And the idea is the following. So we are going to use this prediction with abstention in order to predict the final rating of the author. Here, what we see, if you have a perfect labeling of your document, of your review by a human expert, okay? And if you try to predict again, predict the stars, okay? If you look at the mean absolute error, you have a level of 0.38, okay? If you do some generative hierarchical model, you have 0.50, and yeah, the smaller is the better, okay? And with abstention, you are able to, in a better way, in a more robust way, I would say, predict your the quality of the hotel, so the star ratings. Okay, so this is just an example of what you can do in a, let's say, more complex problem than binary classification. But mainly the message of this talk is the following. So in some problem, you cannot just give to the user or the customer some prediction function. You have been, you have learned on your data lake, and you give it as a tool to solve any problem. You really have to take care locally if your prediction will be good or not, given the place where you are in the space. Okay, so that's the most important point. The second point is that, in fact, this is a general framework. So whatever the tool you prefer, deep learning, random forest, you can use that. Okay. Second point is that, well, truly the most difficult problem is to predict structure of different size. Okay, so you don't know exactly how large will be your structure. Okay, so the abstention structure as well. Okay, so of course this is the problem where we now want to address. Okay, so again, think about automatic captioning. You want to produce a sentence that explains an image. Okay, but you don't know if maybe this sentence will be two lines long or just one line. It could be a very long or very short, and you want to do that as well. Okay. And finally, and this is an easy, it's just, I will give the end to Eric Moulin. So it's not sufficient just to make prediction. So in a way or another, you need to either measure confidence or make a trade-off between the cost of your prediction and the cost of abstention. There are many ways to do that, but we have, I think, to shift towards a paradigm that, again, have been studied, in fact, a long time ago in simpler cases. And I will I have tried now to convince you that it's important to make prediction, but it's important to give the end to the user at the right moment, and even for complex problems such that structured output learning. Thank you very much.